Welcome to episode 866 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Pyles, joined today by JD Rader and Ben Funky Askren. Honest Abe over his shoulder, so he cannot tell a lie today, even though I think that was George Washington's line. He chopped down the cherry tree, but we know Abraham is Honest Abe. We need a historian on this show, because I know it's not Ben Askren.
Abraham Lincoln, he was a wrestler. People know that. How about that?
That's true. That's true. Wrestler.
I don't think he could have taken me down, though. He probably didn't have good technique in 1863.
Unlikely. Wrestling Fanatics was just now just getting started at that point in time, so the technique was not quite there.
Not quite.
Man, we have quite a show. No Shane Sparks today. He's closing deals. He's a deal closing kind of guy, so he's not on today. So we won't have any takes from him, unfortunately. But fortunately, we have a lot to talk about, regardless of Shane's presence. Which one? We have to start with the news of yesterday, which was Stephen Buchanan entered the transfer portal. This is something we sort of been discussing around and alluding to. Is that there were some issues there for whatever reasons I don't know, and I don't think are totally known. And Coach Branch had sort of, I think it was like right after NCAA, sort of made a cryptic tweet about NCAA being lawless and the recruiting stuff or whatever. And it was, thought that it was related to Steven getting recruited. And, so this looked like it could maybe be coming. And then he was going to wrestle in the All-Star. And so it's like, okay, things are good. And then he's not wrestling in the All-Star because he says he's redshirting, and Coach Branch says, well, actually, he's not redshirting, and then a little bit of time passes, and he enters the transfer portal. So now, not good for Wyoming. You're losing your best wrestler, one of the best wrestlers in the country, a guy who really, you could say they really helped develop because, coming out of high school, Steven wasn't this, and now,
Yes.
They're kind of left without him, and now we're going to see where Steven winds up. And the obvious connection is Oklahoma. Coach Tion Ware was there at Wyoming with Steven. Now he's at Oklahoma. That's what a lot of people think may happen.
I heard 3 places. I did get bad intel the other day, though, because remember I texted a friend the other day who I thought had a good connection to Steven. He said he is not leaving Wyoming. He told me he had considered it but will not be departing. And now that comes to be not true a couple weeks later. I've heard Minnesota, Oklahoma, and Michigan are the 3 that I've heard are in the running for Stephen Buchanan's services. But it would make sense from going to Penn State also because Max Dean is done this year. And Penn State seems to end up with not a ton of transfers, but maybe the right ones at the right times.
Max Dean certainly being one of those, transferring in and winning NCAAs the first year he's able to wrestle. Yeah, no doubt. So we'll see where he winds up.
So I asked you this last night, Christian. I do believe if you're in the portal now, you're not eligible to wrestle the next semester, correct? I know the portal rules are really funny. Like you can enter them sometimes, but you can't enter them other times. I know there's a period like we just saw with the Berwick issue where it was like June 6th or something. They had to be in the portal and then if he wasn't in the portal by June 6th, he was not eligible for this year, which is he was trying to get the waiver to do that, and he wasn't. So I think that is the ruling that if you're not in the portal by June, somewhere in June, that you're not eligible for the 2022-2023 season, if I am correct.
I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if the Berwick and the Buchanan examples are 1-to-1. I know that there were some transfers last year, kind of mid-season, and the guys ended up.
Which one? Do you remember?
Tag was one, I believe, and JoJo Aragona. So I do think there's.
Well, I know I talked to a college coach about the portal, and it wasn't even about the Berwick situation. It was about someone else, and they were saying that there's that cutoff date, and this is the one that Berwick missed, right? Mm-hmm. There's that cutoff date somewhere there, and once you're not there, then you have to wait, and you can enter the portal, but then you can't actually be eligible till the following season. That was how he was explaining it to me.
Yeah. So I
We need a portal expert.
I don't know if that's the rule exactly. So Jojo Aragona went in the portal December of 2021 while he was
Uh-huh.
at Rutgers, and he wrestled for Campbell
Hmm.
at SoCons. So I don't.
Hey, is it just that Berwick didn't get approved by his school and that maybe Rutgers wrote off on Aragona or something or signed off on him?
Signed off. Yep, that's definitely an option. Also, wrestling's a 2 semester sport, so it. I mean, the rules don't often make a lot of sense. Like, why would JoJo Aragona able to transfer, literally go in the portal in December and wrestle for Campbell in second semester, and then
Berwick can't do it in June.
Berwick can't wrestle this whole year now.
Well, the explanation to me was from this college coach. It was that, well, if kids are allowed to do it in the summer, then they could just in August say, "Hey, I'm not coming back," and then the team would be really hampered by losing a bunch of guys and not able to replace them. Was how it was explained to me. But yes, that doesn't make sense that Aragona could go in December and then wrestle essentially a couple months later, and Berwick couldn't go in June, and then he's out forever.
Well, here's the real question: why wrestle this year? Why not redshirt? He's got the red shirt, Buchanan.
Yeah.
I think you obviously have not been in an ideal training situation. I don't know if he's been practicing with Wyoming. This tension is not as of yesterday. This tension has been ongoing. So has he been in the room still training? I would assume not. And you have the red shirt. Take it.
You don't think he's even been in the room training?
I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing that this has been building for months, and that's my guess. That's my guess. I don't know it. I'm literally just guessing. So why not just take the red shirt, take the year, get a full couple semesters under your belt at your new spot, and then hit the ground running next year. 197 is going to be as winnable next year as it was this year, maybe more so, because more guys are going to drop out. Not that that's necessarily a reason to. He can obviously win this year.
He could win this year, but then that makes sense. And then, I mean, given the fact that he has two years left after this, you're going to get quite a few of those top guys out. And obviously you're probably going to get some new guys in who are pretty good. But Dean's done this year, and then I think what Warner's done. Why has Buchanan listed as a senior on your rankings, but he only has 2 years of eligibility left. I think Truax would be done. Bastida would be done. Most of these top guys are going to be done. If he redshirts this year, and then 2 years of eligibility after that'd be the 2025 NCAA championships.
Okay, I don't think Bastida is going to be done. Bastida is like a
2025.
Oh, 2025. Okay, I didn't know.
Well, if he redshirts this year, he's got 2 years of eligibility left.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So another interesting wrinkle of this, and when everyone knows, if you listen to the show, we are very pro athlete mobility, and we think it's a good thing. But when the restrictions got reduced, and basically it's just open markets for athlete mobility. The number one example cited was, man, what's going to happen is these smaller programs are going to get these guys, invested in them, develop them, and then once these guys experience a level of success, they're going to get picked off. Now, there's reasons this is happening, and I'm not trying to say this is the perfect example of that, but it is kind of line by line. If you're just viewing it from 30,000 feet, that's what's happening here. And it is that is true. It is true. It is a smaller program that developed this guy. He has experienced success, and it sounds like he's very likely going to be going to a big blue blood type of program. And that's not to absolve Wyoming of their role in this not working, but the bottom line is this is happening.
Yeah, I guess so. The two things I heard, and this would kind of speak to one of the points you make a lot, is that number one, he really liked Tion Ware a lot, and then Tion Ware left to go to Oklahoma. I guess that was one of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying he didn't like the other coaches, but I guess that was the guy he liked the most, was what I heard. And then number two, this is an unfortunate one, but I heard that there is not really any NLI at Wyoming, and he thinks he can get that other places. And now, like I said, I'm in the heart of this NLI thing. NLI thing is in wrestling specifically. I'm happy it happened, but most guys are not making any real money. Most guys are making money. It's because these wealthy programs want to find a way to get guys to come to their places.
Yeah, of course. That's why
Yeah.
they're not making anyone any money, but they can get some money elsewhere.
Yeah. More than not, I mean, I want to trivialize it because to Christian Pyles or to Ben Askren, it's probably not a lot of money, but you got to remember for a college kid to get, and because this was true when I was in college, for a college kid to get, say, $2,000 a year, a couple $100 extra spending money per month, that's kind of a big deal,
Yeah.
And so for an adult, that's not real money, but for a college kid, it's like, man, that really helps.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to trivialize it. I was more referring to the big high dollar deals you're hearing about,
Right.
even in college athletics, right? There's NIL deals for guys that aren't even playing football, that didn't even like play for the team that they sort of were committed to.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's guys, you sign an NIL deal, it has nothing to, it can't have anything tied to the school.
Oh, yeah.
So you could do that and you end up not even playing a down, right? So that's more what I'm referring to.
Why didn't they play it down?
Transfer or didn't pan out. I don't remember the exact example, but it happens.
Yeah, but I will tell you now in the recruiting process, I'm gonna re-report myself. Prior, I said I had not heard really any decent NLI deals, and then in this fall season, I had two different coaches say, "Hey, what's it gonna take?" or just straight up make an NLI offer to someone. So, yeah, it is happening. Probably not as much as some people think, and it is mostly for a coach to recruit an athlete to his school, not to actually get a business deal happening.
Yes, of course, and of course it is, and of course it's happening. Talk to parents; they'll tell you. They're in these conversations. So yeah, my point is to the people that are getting nervous about, the move, what it's going to mean for these smaller programs. It's like this is sort of fuel for that fire.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, we certainly don't have all the details for why it didn't work out, so we won't pretend to know. But still an unfortunate thing for Wyoming and for Steven. Excited to see where he winds up, and he's a fun guy to watch on the mat. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think there have also, I mean, not to just maybe not to belabor this point too much, because I know we got to talk about CKLV, but there are also now instances of people going the other direction because of the portal, say like a Rocky Jordan to UTC. And obviously he wasn't the guy at Ohio State, but at least he had the opportunity to go somewhere else, and he's in a starting lineup. And there's been a handful of guys like that as well.
And I like that. I think we have seen a lot of that. And I think at the time when the transfer rules just completely changed the last couple of years, that was a point we were making, was I think we'll see it a lot of the other way as well. And I think the Rocky example is a great one to boot. Yeah.
Yep.
Point not belabored.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So we have no, I'm ready to move on if you are.
Ready.
Okay. Ready, move on. Gas Tank Gary. Great example.
Ooh,
you got the GOAT on your program.
And now you're bringing up Gas Tank Gary.
I know, but I remembered the greatest example of all the examples, Benjamin. Gas Tank Gary, who I think is at Oklahoma.
Evan Wick to Cal Poly.
That's a traditional power.
Cal Poly?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
I mean, they have a solid team now, but I don't know about traditional
Demas.
power.
Even Demas, too, to Cal Poly.
Oh, you to Cal Poly.
So it's happening. Anyway, that's the transfer talk, and I don't know. We may have a decision soon. We'll see.
Really?
We'll stay tuned.
Wow, you know something.
I don't know nothing. Okay, so hey, actually, before CKLV pre-seeds are out, check them out. They're on the site. But I really want This show, I want to talk a lot about the Iowa State thing and then use tomorrow's show for very CKLV heavy. Not that we're not going to talk about CKLV today, but Iowa State.
Oh, my God. The CKLV brackets, though, boy. Woo, some of them are good.
Sassy. 184 looks nuts. Heavyweight looks... All right, fine. Let's just talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit. Dang it, Ben.
Such a bad influence on you.
You're terrible.
Man, 184 heavyweight. Those ones are deep.
All right, I'm going to talk to it. Man, I hate the formatting in this.
I know when they just make them run on with each other. I also don't like
that. Okay, well, we can fix that though.
35.
So I don't want to start at 25. I just kind of want to bounce around. I don't want to do the full thing. But heavyweight's nuts. Colton Schultz, Mason Paris, that's nuts. But then Slavakuski, Davison, Orndorff, and say it,
Great
American Hero, Wyatt Hendrickson will be there. And the cool thing about these big tournaments is that means Wyatt Hendrickson he's going to pin some dudes. We'll get some sweet Wyatt Hendrickson content there. So that's a great...
Slavakuski should be a fire match.
Slavakuski's a lot of fun. I hope he's fully healed up.
Yes.
Was excited to see Mekhi Lewis entered, and a potential showdown between he and Mikey Labriola is very interesting.
74 is deep, though, too, because you got Romero, Ethan Smith, Foca. Kind of like Ethan Smith versus Mekhi was a really competitive match last time, and I'd assume the same thing's going to happen this time.
Yeah, completely agree. And the Romero he's referring to is Demetrius Romero. Yes, he's still involved. And
8 years.
Last we checked, he's pretty good, but he just needs to be healthy. That's his main thing. 184 is really dumb, like out of control good. I think this could be declared the weight of weights for Cliff Keen Las Vegas.
Well, look at these rankings, Christian. This is the national rankings, not the seeds right now. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10.
That's crazy. So those numbers, the names next to those numbers are Parker Keckeisen, Trent Hidley, Caleb Romero, Trey Munoz, Jonathan Lowe, Hunter Bolin, and Matthew Finesilver to round out the top 10. That's really, really tremendous. And Parker going to be the favorite there, and he's 2-0 against Trent Hidley. But, you can't count out a Romero. You can't count out a Munoz in this one. And, Hunter Bolin, if he can return to form, he's a wrinkle there as well.
He's gonna have. So I mean, as the pre-seed stand now, he'll have Caleb Romero, and they already wrestled in that dual meet. And it wasn't a super great match.
Correct.
Yeah, 2 takedowns from Romero. Moderately close, but not in the balance.
Not in the balance. 33 is also crazy. Vito, Mikhail McGee, Dylan Ragusin, Chris Cannon, Sam Latono, Jesse Mendez.
Oh, I know that's the one you're excited for. Mendez versus Ragusin. Ohio State versus Michigan. Someone told me they also had a big football game. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but this is a big wrestling match right here.
Whoa. Michigan went bully beatdown in the second half against Ohio State. At Ohio State. It had to be...
You mean like in the upper weights or what?
Yeah. The back half of the duel. Yeah, they broke them. It was really a surprising. After the first half was just back and forth, great game, and then Michigan just plowed through them. 141.
Wait, hold on, wait. 133. I thought we were going to go back to that's my joke. I thought we were going back. I actually didn't watch a football game because I don't watch football, but I knew they played, and someone told me it was important. 133 goes deep because they seed all the way down to number 13. Jason Shaner. Oh, I got kids trying to sleep. Guys, you guys can't be in here. Beat it. The kid's trying to sneak in here. All the way down to 13. But Mendez is an interesting one against Ragusin. Of course, Latona versus Cannon because obviously they, Latona's trying to return to form. And that's All-American versus All-American there. I think this one's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and obviously Vito's the big dog here. But sorting out 2 on is going to be really, really exciting. I can't wait for that one. Yeah, such a great weight.
So it should give us a lot of information kind of on where these people stand, I would think.
Tons. Man.
Yeah, 49. What do you think about leaving Sasso number 1 here? Given the fact that he's got 2 losses already. I thought, they could put Milner or Parko above him. So it's Sasso 1, Milner 2, Parko 3, Yaya 4, Robuto 5, Lamer 6. Not as deep, but it is top heavy. I thought they could have went Milner or Parko 6, given the fact that Sasso has 2 losses already in the season.
Yeah, Milner won a tournament that Caleb Hinson entered. He's been good this year. He's undefeated. We have him ranked higher, straight up.
It is tough when Sasso beat him head-to-head at NCAAs last year.
And that's ultimately probably why they came up with what they came up with. I don't think it hurts Milner too much. I mean, Parko's a tough semi, but man, Yaya Thomas is no picnic at the 4. And honestly, for Sasso, if he gets Yaya, that's been a tougher matchup for him. I'm excited to watch Colin Robuto, candidly. But this is a really good weight. I think it's a big opportunity. I think a lot of people like watching Milner and think a lot of him. Like, he's kind of like a wrestling nerd's like guy, like that. If you really watch wrestling, everyone knows that you know that Jonathan Milner is really good and under the radar type of guy. This is an opportunity for him to like enter that national consciousness. So I'm excited to see what he can do because he can wrestle from everywhere.
Agreed.
But he's got to overcome.
I can't remember which way it was, but I know it was these guys. Who pinned who between Parko and Milner? One of them pulled the other one over the top last year. Do you remember this from the leg ride? I remember someone was a really high leg ride and they got pulled over the top and decked. I don't remember which way it went.
I'll have it here. Park.
Okay, that was a fun ending to that match.
Are you sure they wrestled that many times? Okay.
Was it 2 years ago, maybe?
Oh, there was at the Mountaineer Invitational?
Is that it? Is one pinned the other one?
Yeah, Parko pinned him in 516. Yeah.
That was it. Milner got high on the leg right and got pulled over the top and decked.
Dang. That's kind of crazy. And then he beat Parko 9-4 at NCAAs in 2022.
Yeah.
So he's gotten a lot better because he lost to him 9-5 at NCAAs in 2021. Then he got pinned by him early last year, and then he beat him 9-4 at NCAAs.
Yeah.
And it was a 1-point match with Sasso at NCAAs. So a lot to be excited for in that one. 57's exciting as well. Man, I can't believe how incredible this tournament is. You've got Willowan, Peyton Robb.
Saturday, correct?
Friday, Saturday, yes, sir. We are headed to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Wait, you and JD?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are we doing the show?
Vegas, baby.
Yeah, doing the show. We're doing the show.
We're going to have John Kozak on instead of...
John Kozak's coming.
Very sneaky.
Yes, very sneaky. Hello, Amy. Good morning.
They call her Amy. So are we doing the show tomorrow then, or are you guys leaving after the show?
Yeah, we're doing the show.
I'm leaving after the show.
Yeah.
One of us is not, though.
You need to not be late like you were today. You gotta be on time. You were not on time.
Listen, don't try throwing us under the JD. Who was late? Who's been the one that's late?
I've never been late. And honestly, you know what? It's like when wrestling just because you're in the building when wrestling practice starts doesn't mean you're on time for wrestling. You got to have shoes on, ready to go. You're getting your lighting ready. You're fixing your camera, this and that. No, you weren't ready.
Look how good I look today, though. I could be like a male model.
You are handsome, Ben. There's no denying that. And that's why you think you can get away with everything. You just be late and show up when you show up. Anyway.
So funny. All right, so you guys, so JD's leaving up the show, and Christian's taking the private jet to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I've been looking into it, and as far as my carbon footprint goes, if I take 2 flights, that's a worse carbon footprint. But if I just get in a plane by myself, and maybe with Bader, then that's actually less. So I'm just doing my part, like many people are, and trying to save the environment.
Amazing.
Okay. I want to talk about someone else with private jets, the Iowa Hawkeyes. And I think the Iowa State Cyclones, they use the PJ from time to time too. This duel is happening. Probables came out. And good news, bad news for Iowa. Good news, Real Woods was in there. You need that guy. Bad news, Spencer Lee's name was not in there. And even worse news, At the press conference, no one asked, might we see Spencer Lee wrestling against Iowa State?
They're
No
not
one
doing
asked
their
that.
job, Christian. Fire them all.
Well, I can't. They don't work for me. But it's a
Okay.
very obvious question. It's the only question we really are interested in. And they asked,
The
you
first
can't-
question alluded to it.
Yeah, you can't. You got to go there. You can't ask what's
gotta go there.
You can't ask for the health update because he's going to tell you they're day to day, they're progressing, and they want to wrestle. And he's been saying that all. And of course, he's not going to give up. But you at least got to try to say, hey, is there a chance we'll see Spencer?
You got to try to. You got to say, listen. Don't be a liar, Tom Brands. Are we going to see Spencer Lee on Sunday or not?
Yeah. Because you could have gotten something, could have got a taste, but they're progressing. They want to wrestle. Okay, well we know that. We know that. We know that the wrestlers want to wrestle, and I don't blame Coach Brands.
Didn't you tell me last week that there was someone who was not on the probables who wrestled?
Nelson Brands.
So why couldn't they be doing
So
the same thing here?
probables mean very little.
No, they mean something. They mean something. They're not gospel, but it means something that Real Woods is in there, and that he wasn't previously. That makes me think Real Woods is probably going to wrestle.
But then why wasn't Nelson Brands on there last week and then he wrestled?
Well, maybe a little shenanigans. I don't know. Maybe they didn't know if he'd be ready.
I love shenanigans.
Yeah.
What is the point of these shenanigans?
I don't. Everything's a state secret. I don't know. It's not like you're going to prepare any different if it's
Yeah,
Harris
I agree.
or Spencer Lee. It's like, I mean, obviously it's a different. It's a very different chat.
I forgot to watch my Spencer Lee film. I guess I'm not going to know how to beat him now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Spencer other than.
If anything, I would be like, hey, fans, everybody come out.
I know.
And watch Spencer. Our big guy.
Yeah.
Our Top Gun.
So I don't know.
I still think he's going to wrestle.
I feel like they need to do what we talked about on Monday. Start at 133. The music breaks. The crowd goes nuts. He comes and saves the duel.
Yeah, they got to be down by 4, going into 125, and then See, he normally comes out to "We Will Rock You."
With Woods in the lineup, and you guys have the probables here, the opponents, and you have the lines on them. It doesn't look like Iowa's going to be losing. There's a possibility, but I don't think it's a high possibility. If Iowa State had a good 157, that would have went a long way. I don't know that Jason Kreiser is going to get it done.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Iowa's definitely the favorites. I think they're my pick. I think there's a good chance, even without Spencer, it could go 6-4 for Iowa. I think they're winning at 41. I think they're winning at 49. I think 57. You've got to go with. You certainly can't feel crazy confident in Seabrook, but I think he's the pick. I think 70.
So I did watch Jason Kreiser. He actually wrestled 2 Wisconsin guys. He wrestled Matt Bianchi and then Garrett Model at that. I don't remember what the duel they did in the beginning of the season, and he's just not very good. He's got really limited offense. He just doesn't have a lot going for him, honestly.
Yeah. No, Avery, his theme song is Pokemon for the NCAA finals on some occasions, but his like Carver or walkout song is typically been "We Will Rock You" by the great rock band Queen, which I'd love to get Shane Sparks' thoughts on Queen.
Oh my God, he would go off for 20.
Yeah, I know. We were going over Matt returns at the 512 Outlaws. A little crime time. Going over, thought about Shane. He'd have been fired up. They're getting better at him too. By they, I mean my son.
Good job, Caleb. Lift and return Natalie onto the couch. Let's go.
That's right. Okay.
Do you guys notice the evolution in Matt returns? Actually, this is my most fun thing to talk about on the show is wrestling techniques.
Yes.
Have you guys noticed the evolution that is happening in Matt returns?
No, tell me about it.
Well, I'm gonna have to get up and demonstrate. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, so right, what you're seeing is
go get Amy.
Third boom, right? But a lot of the bomb guys, they're reaching. You can't see my foot, but they're reaching back and they're hooking the outside, right? Do you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so now lift or return, and they know the hook's coming, and they lift their foot. They lift their foot with it. that is happening a lot. I don't think we saw that, say, 3 to 5 years ago. It's a really awesome tactic. It works a lot of time, but you saw the committee did it once to Keegan, and Keegan felt it. And the next time, Keegan had a switch on him off of it because you can't get your hips out of the way. But it is getting really popular. I saw it a bunch when I was watching last weekend as well.
Okay. I wish I could do it to JD right now.
You would have no chance.
Well, I could.
Is, like I said, if you do it, you do kind of land out of position. But I don't think the bottom person. This is where wrestling technique is fun, because when you surprise someone with something, it works for a while. And if it's a really solid technique with little flaws, it's going to continue to work. But if it's flawed, it'll work for a little while while the other person is surprised. And then as the other person figures it out, oh, there's an easy counter to this, or here's how I beat this, then it's going to stop working, right? Mm-hmm. And because of the popularity where a lot of people are doing it, just watch that CKLV this weekend. A lot of people are starting to do it. I believe it will be figured out relatively quickly.
Okay. If you see a CKLV, see something, say. But you say Keegan, it happened with Keegan and Dean?
Yeah, everybody does it.
Yeah. All right. I'll just go back and watch that maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. People like this, Ben.
Yeah. Sweet.
Apparently you're an authority on wrestling technique.
Yes.
According to some.
I'm reading this really awesome book right now. That's totally distracted. We can get back to that. I said called The Rise of Superman. I'm reading it again. It's so freaking good. It talks about flow state and and what it's really talking about is extreme sports athletes and their evolution of their sports and like how they do it and stuff. And it's so much fun to read and to think about like what's happening in wrestling right now, because wrestling is also evolving at a faster rate than I would say probably ever before in history. Although I wasn't around prior to the year 2000 to really pay attention to high level wrestling technique. But I think it's because they have an internet and like places like Flow where we can watch so much wrestling and we can see what everyone's doing. So therefore, when something becomes popular, it becomes popular much faster because everyone's seeing it. And they're like, oh, that's cool. How do I do that? Or should I do that? Or I'm going to try that. Something like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of ripple effect. Like you wonder about how many guys would have had totally different careers if there wasn't widespread film on what they do. But it's cool because you have a quicker evolution of the sport, which I think is a good thing. All right, let's talk through this this duel a little bit because it's the duel of the week for sure. One we've been really counting down for a couple months now, as really ever since the Iowa State-Wisconsin duel, we're like, oh man, this could really be a thing.
Yes.
So 125, Iowa listed Aiden Harris versus for their 25-pounder against Kyson Terrakina. JD has this as a 7.5-point favorite for Kyson. I think that's substantially too low, probably. Ryan Miller.
Terrakina really doesn't beat people that bad.
I know, but Ryan Miller just teched him. Like, how much? I'd like to look at
Kyson Terrakina beat Grandview like 3-1 or something like that.
A lot of confidence. Maybe you're right.
I think Terrakina does have a great top game, which is maybe a lot of the issue. When you put really big points, a lot of times it's top game. But hey, I just looked at that duel, JD. Esco Walker was a national champion at the NAIA level.
Yeah.
He's probably tough. Come on.
He's probably tough.
Aiden Harris was like a JUCO like runner-up or finalist or something like that.
I know, but what we've seen is...
That's a step above, I think.
There you go. We're in him.
What do you think, Christian? You think it's a step above?
I'm saying Terrakina doesn't beat like hardly anybody.
I mean, he lost 9-4 to Eli Griffin.
Who beat Terrakina?
Okay, maybe you're right. I think it's low.
I feel as though it's low also, but now JD's making great points, so
he's making good points, but I don't have to agree with
Go against him at your own peril.
Yes. So I think Kyson probably covers this. It's especially he's got to be.
He knows
for
the team.
Yes, exactly.
Dude, you're right though, JD. I mean, I'm looking through the wrestle stat. Like he didn't major 2 different Grandview kids last year. He only got a few bonus point wins on the whole season. I mean, like 27 matches last year. I want to see if he's got 3 bonus points.
Yeah, he had
How about this? Hold on, let me pitch you. Can I pitch you guys an idea?
pitch it.
Aiden Harris is not that good, and I bet Iowa State has someone else that can maybe is more of a dynamic point scorer, but not quite as good as Kyson Terrakina. I'm almost saying Tyson now because freaking Sion.
Dude, I typed Tyson into WrestleStat trying to look him up. Freaking the curse of Sion.
What if you throw someone else in there who's maybe a more dynamic point scorer because there's a possibility of bonusing or pinning?
No way. I mean, I don't think it's the worst idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think there's no scenario that happens. I think it's good game theory, and I don't know who that would be.
Band's not bad, but
Boom boom.
He probably has more bonus point victories than Terrakina. But still, I think you put your best guy out there.
Yeah. And you say, go get it, Tyson.
Ban is he only had a 17% bonus last year. Not very good.
Not very good. Okay, then no Teskey listed. Shriver versus Atisov, which I don't really think is how you're supposed to say it, but Spade just tricks us sometimes, and then this is how you say it, and we go with it because
he's a trustworthy individual.
He is very trustworthy. He's very smart. JD says Atisov 1.5 point favorite.
I'm picking Atisov here.
I am too, and it feels like 2 or more is possible.
How long has Cullen Shriver been at college? Is it 2 years now or 3 years? Is this 3rd year?
This is third.
3rd year.
God, yeah, he is 8-1 this year. I did not feel like that was going to be. Oh, I guess he went to the Luther Open. That's why.
Live at Luther College. Yeah, so I think Atisov or Redding. I think in a dual meet, you don't want the guy that's cutting a pile of weight like Redding, especially in Carter Hawkeye Arena. Shriver was kind of coming late at Kolioko, despite I know he lost 6-0. A little closer.
It's got the Seabolt gas tank.
It was a little closer than.
Are you trying to gas him off bottom or what?
Well, I don't know. I seem to remember there was a lot of neutral time later in the match. But then he gave up. I think he gave up a reattack. So he wasn't close to win the match, but it was reasonably competitive late. So I think he could simulate that against Atisov, but it's hard to see the path there for Cullen. They could really use Teskey in this spot. But then this is the match of the freaking thing. 141. Where is Casey Swiderski at? Where's Casey Swiderski at? Really, really close to weigh-ins. Even if it's the last match, that's close. How's Real Woods look in his first Carver debut, 2, first match of the year. In the biggest spot, really, this is a huge spot for Real. There's a lot of pressure for Real coming into this match. He's going to be expected to win this match and make kind of a splash early on, and Swiderski's going to be ready to go. How he feels off the scale will be one of the bigger questions. But
yeah, I know it was a little later in the day, but the Zargo match was a really high-paced match. I know there were some breaks because of blood time, but sometimes that almost makes it worse because you're just kind of like out there forever and you're just kind of cleaning up. You never get a full rest, and that was a really high-paced match, and he was fine.
He was fine, but that was probably, I think it was like 10 hours post weigh-in. So that has an impact. I think JD has a good line here, 2.5 point favorite for Real Woods. What do you think about that, Ben?
Yeah, it seems fair because there's still a lot of unknown about Swiderski. It is Real Woods' first match back. Yeah, seems right.
Okay, well, what do you think? What's your prediction though?
Well, so you want me to? Is it an official prediction right now, or do I make my official prediction?
These are official.
This is official. Wait, so have we done the official on the prior two?
He's filling out a sheet as we speak.
He is.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going Aiden Harris then.
You're going Aiden?
Harris. I'm going to tease off, and I'm gonna go Real Woods.
I'll say Swiderski covers the 2.5.
Ooh, okay, that'd be fun. I mean,
I
there's
gotta
one
go
of the things where
Cyclone
like if Swiderski could get it done. I mean, I think there's a chance he wins.
Right. I do too. Now this is also interesting. Well, Swiderski's going to come at Real and attack, but Real's defense is pretty formidable. I think he's going to see. There's a big difference between the competition Casey's faced at this point and Real Woods.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of reason for excitement, but this is a totally different kind of test than what he's faced so far.
You think wrestling Mendez in high school is that much different?
Than wrestling Real Woods? Yes, I do.
I mean, Mendez proved he's right there. He's top 10 guy.
Yeah, I
Good
know.
point. Maybe a lot smaller though than
Way
Real Woods is.
smaller.
Yes, no, I'm not saying like obviously Real Woods at 141 is very much different than or not very much, but it's different than a senior in high school Jesse Mendez at 132 or 138 pounds. But like, I just think like you're also like dismissing the level that like, he's shown. Like he's a high level wrestler.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. I just think there's a difference between beating Jesse in an exhibition when he's way smaller than what this is going to be against someone of Real's caliber too. I think it's.
Oh, I don't know. Now JD's got me thinking. I don't know, Christian. I mean, Jesse Mendez is the same guy that was whooping Seth Gross for 4 out of 6 minutes of a match before he
Carter Young
got
beat
punched.
Seth Gross, and I'm not going to put all the
Also
stock
a great
into that.
counterpoint.
Beat Tyler
Well,
Graff.
but now Jesse's also beat Lucas Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Right early in the season, he did have a not so great match against Latona, of course. But I think Jesse Mendez has comparable level results to Real Woods. He is smaller. I mean, the one thing is he's definitely smaller for sure. And so how will Swiderski handle the power differential?
Yeah, I just can't get there with Mendez being a comp for Real Woods at this point. I think that's Carter before the horse in folk style wrestling.
Okay.
And
I think it's a solid data point, is what I'm saying. Obviously, it's not like if you beat Real Woods, it's like for sure title contender, like right there. He's not there. We don't have the data there yet, but I think beating Jesse Mendez twice, and now the data we have on Jesse is a solid data point. Plus the data point with the Zargo win. I think you're ready to say he's for sure an All-American contender. This match would put him in for sure title contender.
So what I would say, and I think you're kind of making the point I want to make, is that if you beat Real Woods, you're a contender for a national title. If you beat Jesse Mendez, that is not necessarily the case. It's not the case right now, right?
Yes. Well, is that also
now different weight classes? Roman and Dayton and Vito make it a very different sort of thing. But
yes,
all things being equal, let's pretend Jesse was at 141 and Lucas Bird and Latona were 41 pounders.
Hey, you know what was a great idea that I had? Sometimes I have these great ideas and these college coaches just don't want to listen. Dayton to 41. That was a great idea.
This is a great idea. I mean,
it really is. Like, come on, dude. What the hell?
Unless he, for himself, really wants to be RBY.
I mean, I'm sure he does. And that's just what Dayton is always sought out the match.
Ultimate competitor.
He was always trying to find the match. For Dapper Dan or Pittsburgh, I think it was still Dapper Dan. You have to fill out this thing like an application or whatever to get in. And all he wrote on it was Dayton fix for Spencer Lee and just like send it back. Like he's just that kind of a guy. He wants the toughest match. And now John Smith could just say, yeah, go 141 and get a title. And I'm sure Dayton would listen, but he's not going to do it. And I understand that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the thing is, it could have been the best thing for Carter Young. Now, Carter may not be able to make 33. Who knows? But
I feel like he definitely could have last year.
Yeah.
This year might be a different
pretty
story.
Skinny guy. Okay, so that's 41. It's the match, man, because you'll learn so much about Real, I think, where he's at. you're gonna learn a lot about Casey Swiderski and where he's at. You're not, and that's
This next match is kind of the match too.
the next one's great too. Max Murin versus Pinheiro Johnson. I really think Max wins this match. I have a lot of confidence that he will. I think what we saw Pinheiro do against Gomez was amazing and maybe one of the performances of the year. But I think the tactics that Murin could and should implement against Pinheiro are going to put him in a tougher spot.
Now, can he cover this 2.5 point line, or is he going to win by 1 or 2?
Can he cover that line? 2.5. It's a takedown. Where I'm curious is can he put a ride on at the end of a period if he gets a takedown? Can he ride him out? And I could see
Pinheiro's actually not. He's tough on top.
Yes, that's where I see
not turn wise, but he'll make you earn your escape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I see. Takedown, ride out at the end of a period, gets an escape, maybe gets a riding time point, 3 or more.
Yeah. So Pinheiro, I mean, this is one where it's like, I feel like if the gas tank issues rear their head, Murin could potentially blow the doors wide off. But if he has that figured out, like he did, I mean, the Gomez match, he had it figured out. He didn't seem like he got really tired at all. Then he could win this match for sure.
He can.
I just go like really far one way or the other.
Give me pistachio.
Panera bread. Panera getting that bread.
Maybe I'm buying too much into the young Cyclone hype, but I don't give a shit. It's fun. I'm doing it.
Man, you had the plot twist there.
Go hard, JD.
Shoot, he said. Yeah.
Look, I think Pinheiro's a freak in the best way possible. I think we see maybe even a 0-0 first period. Murin could put a ride on, but Pinheiro going to hit him with a re-attack.
He could
when it counts.
He could do it.
That was where it is. Murin would be. I feel like Murin would be very happy to just push for the whole first period and not take any attacks. So he doesn't
That's what
get
he should
re-attacked.
do.
Yeah, that's what I think he will do.
Yeah, and that's where now Pinheiro Johnson create his own offense. And I would have a lot more confidence in picking Pinheiro had he not had the result against the NAIA kid that went to overtime. That one makes me hesitate significantly.
Also, you can't discount the moment. Like that could be a thing. And
What do you mean?
well, he's never wrestled in
TK
this kind of atmosphere. But even he hasn't wrestled in a duel in Ames like this. And even the Wisconsin duel is like that's happening in Florida, and this, it's a different sort of atmosphere than what he's going to be experiencing.
Yes.
So I think that could be a factor as well. Like it's a big spot for
Ben, you remember what he did to Mitchell before he fell off a cliff?
Yeah, of course. But that's another one where it's like, how is Ratchin not better this year? Because Ratchin, Ratchi, however you say his name, like that was the same kind of thing where he was battling with Pinheiro, and then Pinheiro got super tired, and Ratchi, I don't think he came back and teched him, but he definitely came back and beat him. Like where the heck is he at this year? Why isn't he doing better?
He was going like every other with Kobe Seabreak for the first couple duels.
Coach Grant said pretty recently, it's like Seabreak's the guy.
Yeah, I think you pin Artelona, you earn that spot.
He actually had said it before then too, like in the pin preview, like we need both guys, but it's Seabreak right now.
Yeah, so I mean, Mitchell has had tendency, and he's getting better to kind of be over aggressive and give up points early and that happened against Pinheiro, obviously. But Pinheiro did that against quite a few people. I mean, if you look, I'm gonna go back to the juniors brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So Ratchin did tech him. So Pinheiro was up 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
And gave up. I think it was a takedown and then a gut. Yeah, it was gut or something like that. It got teched 18-8.
Whoa, those happen.
But then it's funny because then he kind of figured it out because in the wrestlebacks, He had one close match. I remember I was sitting against a guy who I don't know who it was, but then he went tech fall, and then he beat Jordan Williams 8-0, and then he had a barn burner with Cody Chittum for third place, where he actually kind of came back. Oh no, sorry, I'm sorry, Pinheiro.
Pinheiro, okay.
Yeah, so Chittum beat Ratchi in the Conti semis, and then faced Pinheiro. But yeah, so no, in the Pinheiro versus Chittum match, Chittum got up 5-0, and Pinheiro came back and made it 5-4 at the end of the match. So it's like in that first match, Pinheiro fell off the cliff. He was up 8-0 and died, which is the same thing that happened against Mitchell. And then in the Chittum match, he was down 5-0, and he actually came back at the end of the match.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot to monitor there at 49. 57. Kobe
Who did you pick, Ben? Mirren?
I picked
2.5 points.
Pinheiro, but I don't feel good about it.
Well, that's good. You shouldn't feel good about any of these. If JD's doing his job, you should not feel great about any of your predictions.
I don't feel good about 57 either.
Kobe Seabrook versus Jason Krazer. I think probably a week ago we'd have called this a toss-up. I think. Oh, maybe not.
It would Seabrook would have been the favorite, but I gave him an extra point probably.
Guys, because he pinned Artolona, he was losing 10-1. Give me a break here.
That's my thing. It's like you kind of throw that out for this consideration. You don't throw it out for rankings and stuff like that, but you throw it out for a head-to-head against a completely different.
That was the eyeball test.
Eyeball test. Well, what'd your eyeballs tell you in that one?
That Seabrook is an okay wrestler. Nothing really changed.
Scrappy.
He's scrappy, yeah.
He's scrappy.
I knew this before.
Tricky. So
very tricky.
Krazer has 2 losses on the year to Matt Bianchi and Garrett Model.
That was one where I said he's got almost no offense.
Yeah,
really.
That's gonna make it tough. It's tough to pick, and this is why I'm telling you. I mean, I think you should consider Cam Robinson for this spot.
I agree.
If you're looking for a dual shakeup type of situation, I don't know how you don't consider Cam, or maybe you throw Isaac Judge out there. How much better of an option would he be? He lost 11-8 to Troy Nation. Okay, maybe not.
Troy Nation, that's super great.
No. Yeah, I don't know what you do here. I gotta figure Cam gives you a better shot than.
You need to go to the portal, baby. That's what you need to do.
Portal before Sunday?
Before Sunday, get him in there.
If anyone can do it, it's Kevin Dresser.
All right, hey,
you make David Carr go back down.
What?
Total ADHD here by me, but Flo, you guys have this new feature on your main page. Did you know this?
Which one?
Well, if you scroll on your main page, there's on the left side, there's all the matches that you've just been watching are on the left side, and then you could start watching them again. Did you know this?
Yeah, you like that?
It's a pretty tremendous feature. Well, the last match I was watching was Keegan versus Hamidi, and then I was just talking about that. Hamidi actually does the thing that I was talking about 3 times in the first 30 seconds of the second period.
Okay. First 30 seconds of the second period.
Thank you for that antidote.
Keegan chooses down, and he gets reversed. The first one he returns him. The second one he doesn't fully return him, and the third one he gets reversed on.
Gotcha. All
yes,
right.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, one. We ready to move on?
I'm picking Seabrook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm picking him as well.
I kind of want to pick Seabrook, but I'll go Krazer with the points. Seabrook used his Carver Magic last time.
He used that punch card?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
That's interesting. All right. So, 65. Kennedy versus Carr. This is an interesting one for sure.
Kennedy's actually been looking really good. I know Ravano and Dalton Harkins, I know they're not super good, but they're also not super bad, and he's been killing dudes.
That's the thing. Well, sometimes it's in the margin of victory. So all right, you don't always get the toughest matchups, but how are you looking? Should you dominate this guy, and are you dominating this guy? That's what Kennedy's done. He scored
Yes.
crazy points this year. Let me pull it up. Nomad tweets it like every time he wrestles. Let me look it up. He has scored 20, 22, 24, and 14 points this year, which regardless of competition is an impressive amount. So what does that mean for the David Carr match? Well, he's still a considerable underdog, no doubt. But can he make this competitive match, or is David Carr going to pick him apart? For me, David Carr looked good against, he did a good job against Quincy Monday, but he's not been as great as we've seen him. I think probably David would even admit to that. So I don't know. I think this could get interesting.
I think it's a very.
Go ahead, JD.
I think it's a very controlled win for Carr. He has been a little bit tighter this year. I feel like I don't know if it's to move up to 165, if it's just getting older.
Old age.
Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Old age.
I just think
He's another one of the guys like we talked about earlier. Sometimes you're not great on top. It's hard to make the margins of victory that big. I mean, for example, his match versus Hamidi, he got all 3 takedowns, I believe, but because Hamidi was able to escape in a relatively quick time and then get the stall call because he was pushing the pace, it's like it becomes, the score wise, becomes a really, really tight match, and Carr's not someone who gets on top and turns dudes over a whole bunch. He may ride them for a while, but he's not turning good guys.
And that's how I see this match going, with Kennedy getting his escapes, Carr maybe picking up, 2 or 3 takedowns, but Kennedy getting the escapes where it's a 6-4 match late, but you're kind of like, it's in the balance, but is Kennedy really is Kennedy going to be able to take him down? And the whole time you're kind of like, I don't think so.
Yeah. You got to get your hands on him. You got to move him around. Do not shoot. Do not shoot in the first 2 periods, and see if you can run behind late. I think that's the game plan. I don't know if he can execute that against.
Good at not getting rammed behind Carr.
Yeah,
very good. But I'm still thinking
I was
Kennedy
looking
to
at
cover.
Patrick Kennedy's wrestle stat, and maybe we were, I think we were expecting a lot out of him because last year would have been his first actual year of eligibility. It had the Corona situation, because this is his 3rd year in college, and I think we were expecting a lot out of him. And you look, and he lost to Peyton Hall and Will Formato, but they're both overtime wins. But I think at the time he lost to those guys, we weren't thinking quite as highly of them. And I think both of them have proved to be maybe better than what we thought they were. And so maybe that colors our thoughts of Kennedy in a more negative direction. Does that make any sense?
Well, it certainly colored it negatively in your direction for Patrick. I think
Will Formato. I mean, that's like, you think last year you really thinking that's a great loss? That's not a good loss.
Not a great loss. Not a great loss for sure.
Now Formato's, I guess he's still 20. I guess he's still only 22. I thought he had a better year already.
Yeah, I think Kennedy's gonna have a better year than Will Formato would be my prediction.
Yeah, obviously, Peyton Hall, ended up being
He's
really
really
good last year.
Peyton Hall's really, really good.
Big match for Keegan this weekend.
Oh yeah, the Fighting Brackies versus the Fighting Baders. It would have been hands on sight if Bracky still worked here.
The Fighting Baders or the Fighting Askrens?
Yeah.
Well, he was there first. Bader has dibs.
Yeah, Bader, is he? No, he's not going this weekend to Alumni Weekend, because I remember Coach Smith tried talking to him about it, and he had something going on. I don't recall what it was.
He's going to Vegas.
Yeah, that thing.
Vegas boy. That's where y'all should have had the Alumni weekend. I wish Missouri was going to Cliff Keen.
Where that?
They're doing Scuffle, right? Is that their tournament?
They are going to Scuffle, yes.
Cool. As am I. I'm excited. Just booked. First time back in the Noog since David Bray had his episode. Wanted to stay clear for a couple of years.
Oh my God! Well,
one year did.
They actually banned from Chattanooga.
They actually canceled the Scuffle the next year after that, if you remember, Ben.
All things considered, Bray's lucky he's not behind bars right now.
He is.
He should be.
He's a real deviant. That David Bray. Oh my gosh. So you've got this. We never said the line. You said you got him covered, but we actually didn't say
I said it was a 2.5.
Okay, you did. All right, I don't remember that. So 2.5 points for Carr. Oh, this is tough.
I think it's a 2-point match. I think it's like a 6-4, a
I do
6-4
too.
match.
I do too. I think Carr just gets
The
the win.
only thing, if you take away if these two were wrestling like at the All Star, I would be much more confident. But David Carr is definitely a guy who likes the moment.
Yep.
So I could see him trying to maybe put a little more offense on than he has been this year, and I don't think he's going to get the major, but like going in thinking, I want to get this major for my team. This is our year to beat the Hawkeyes. I know, but like he could be thinking that, and I think I just think he's much better on his feet and offensively than Kennedy.
That's going to play out negatively for David Carr if he does that, because he would have the potential, in my opinion, to gas himself out if he tries that hard.
Potentially. But
yeah,
like I said, I don't think that happens. I think this is a controlled 6-4, 7-5 type victory for David Carr. Patrick Kennedy covers the 2.5 line.
I agree. That's my pick.
I'm watching. Kennedy and Formato wrestled in freestyle at U23s, and Kennedy teched him.
Well, David Carr stole Kennedy's U23 World Team spot because Kennedy won the trials, but Carr got it because he was the senior national team member.
Hey, at 174, can we do Nelson Brands versus whatever Hawkeye steps on the mat? Because they've wrestled kind of a few different people there. And they're all relatively the same skill level. Can we make that the wager?
Yes, I have not made my official pick, but I'm going to say Kennedy covers the 2.5.
Ooh, everyone's picking that, huh?
I think he's a bad boy.
Well, I think the Cyclone does matter. I think if Broderson goes out there, this is a Brands win in overtime, maybe by 1 point, something like that. Similar to last year when he beat Divine. If MJ Guyton goes out there.
Did they listen Orr?
No. It was just
what about
Broderson.
Rojas?
Dresser says he doesn't play games.
Dresser?
He doesn't keep secrets.
Games.
So I think we should operate under the Broderson. But it would be interesting.
I think Guyton could beat Brands. He's a bit of a wild card. And that's kind of, Brands is like a grinder. Like he's just going to, I think he's going to take down, a Broderson in the third period and win 3-2, 5-4, 6-4, something like that. But Guyton can go upper body with him, inside trip him to his back.
Listen to you, JD. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I was not impressed with Guyton against who is the Wisconsin 174?
He wrestled Rowley.
What's up?
Rowley?
They both did the freshman thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I wasn't super impressed with him there. I'm going to go Iowa no matter who Iowa State throws out there. I think there's a chance it's only a 1-point win, but I'm going to go that Brands beats him by 2 or more.
Yeah.
The line is 1.5 for Brands over Broderson.
Yeah, I'll say Nelson covers that by 0.5 point.
Just because he could do it in overtime.
Yeah. I think it's a 2-point win there.
Well, I wasn't super impressed with him in his return.
No, I didn't think that was his best performance for sure. First match back since December.
Busted up bones.
He's flipping his motorcycle and snapping his collarbones.
It's not recommended.
That is not recommended.
He took his motorcycle keys away or what?
I don't know. Get him on one of those bird scooters.
Yep.
Don't ask for advice from this guy. This guy's.
That was in Austin.
What'd you say?
I crashed one of those in Austin.
I know. I remember. You were actually coming to HQ, I'm pretty sure, and you ate it.
Ate it so hard.
You got to always be scanning the terrain, what you're going to go over, because.
Well, you know what it was that sent me? It was they have those in Austin. I'm sure it's in other major cities. They have these like large like lump things. I don't know if it's for parking or what it's for, but it's like half of a softball size on the ground.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
To different like bike lanes. So like, if you hit those with your car tire, you're like, oh, I better watch out. I might take out Lance Armstrong.
Definitely the stupidest thing I've done on a bird scooter was getting tricked by Tyler, our shooter guy, to basically tow him through all the way up Congress. So I'm on a bird scooter. He's on his skateboard, and he's just like holding on to me while I'm like towing him up the hill in traffic. There's traffic right here. And I was like, he like gaslit me like I was being some like fuddy-duddy like nerd not wanting to home. I was like, I don't know, man. It seems really dangerous. But then I did it anyways. And then we got to the happy hour, and all these people were like, that is so insanely unsafe. Do not do that again. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. That was stupid. And Tyler, we're not doing that again. So it happened the one time. But it won't
Never
happen
again.
Never again, Tyler. Oh, he's not awake.
This is the Tyler we're talking about that I met last week.
Yes.
But actually surprised I did not remember his name. I know he said I wouldn't, but I feel like I know most. Like I pay attention to so many wrestling results. I was shocked that I was like, yeah, actually I don't really recognize your name.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't either until I didn't know who he was until we interviewed him. Look at what a hammer. There he is. He needs to go back to that haircut. He's got this like
he's doing the Slim Shady.
He's got this buzzed, occasionally blonde, sometimes brown. That's a Michigan man right there.
Shane Sparks would be proud of that.
That's
right there.
He is digging this.
For those just listening, it's Tyler's roster photo from 2020, and he is nicely buttoned up in a suit and tie and a nice comb over.
Yeah.
We had there was a question that said something about the fact that Shane would love someone's roster photos. I'm blanking on who the heck it was though right now, but it had to be someone obviously who was in suits and ties because Shane gets so jacked about that.
Yeah, I think they're going away, honestly. I think they're on their way out. Fair or not.
Yes.
So he was, I think he might, no, I don't know if he was a spot starter for him. Yeah, he kind of was because he started his senior year at 157 and then couldn't beat out Luan, I think is what happened. So he went up to 65 and he made it. So you probably wouldn't have seen him. Anywho, forgot why we were talking about that.
Back to 184.
184. Abe Assad versus Marcus Coleman. Coleman, point-and-a-half favorite.
Oh, you know what? We got on that because Nelson Brands crashed his motorcycle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then he gaslit me. Dang it, Tyler. So, let's see. Coleman.
84. Coleman is going to beat Assad.
They haven't wrestled. That surprises me.
It is surprising.
Feels like it should have happened at some point. It hasn't. I think this is a very this is a lot of respect for Abe Assad, honestly, against Marcus Coleman, point-and-a-half. I figured you would have settled 2.5, 3.5 for Marcus. I
tried not to be too much of a homer.
You love Marcus Coleman.
I do.
You grew up with this man.
This is true, yes.
You trained him. He was your training partner.
Once upon a time.
Iron sharpened iron.
That's right.
And you're saying a 1.5?
That's fair. Assad always keeps it close. Assad barely ever gets his butt kicked.
With friends like JD, who needs enemies.
Look, I'm taking him, okay.
It's all a big setup so he can take the over. No, you're right. I mean, Aaron Brooks has had 2 opportunities, has been unable to bonus Abe Assad, I believe. Let's look at Marcus Coleman this year. He's won 15-6, 10-4, 13-5, 18-2, and a pin over Tyler Dow.
Marcus Coleman likes putting points on the board.
I think he covers this. I'm going Coleman cover. He only has to win by 2.
Yeah. It's not gonna be bonus, but I bet it's gonna be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Marcus, he can be prone to up and down performances. I might have leaned Assad early in Marcus's career, but he's tightened it up a bit.
Let's look. So his losses.
Marcus is a guy who's gotten a lot better. He went national qualifier, round of 16, 7th place.
The weird thing with him was he couldn't beat Kent. It was like the one thing that stuck out in all of his results. He lost twice to Kent. You know, his other losses are Parker.
Yep.
Zach Bronigal, he got pinned by Zach Bronigal. That kind of sticks out as well.
I totally forgot he was at 97 that year before.
He majored Trey Munoz 13-2. He beat Dakota Gear 18-13. He beat Jonathan Lowe 8-3.
Yeah, he lost to Wyatt Coling. He cannot beat the Missouri guys. We got his number, JD. What's up now?
Yeah. What's up with that? No, all right. I'm going Coleman to cover.
him.
Coleman's kind of slept on. He's really pretty tough guy.
Should we bump this 2.5?
Too late.
No,
Okay.
no. I already called my answer.
Too late. Jacob Warner versus Younger Bastida. JD's got this as a pick'em. I think this is a pick'em for sure.
The right call.
That is right.
I'm
Now,
going Young for sure.
Bastida spikes his headgear 20 feet in the air this year.
Boom.
boom, and they lose the duel by 1. That is one of the dumber rules. Man, I think if you spike it to that degree, it should negate the unsportsmanlike aspect.
Look, you should have like a gauge for like crowd noise or something. If you're spiking when there's 10 people in the crowd and they're just
It's a chill out, bro.
yeah
Kind of moment.
But if Hilton or Carver's going crazy,
Yeah.
like
You got to give. You owe it to the fans to
Right.
do something crazy. You get a win like that, you got to slam something. He didn't destroy a score table. Nothing was
he
destroyed.
didn't rip his singlet.
Cliff King headgear are built to endure that kind of abuse too. We saw that. Case in point. So, I think
the referee
Slam
should
it.
be able to decide whether the athlete threw the headgear in exasperation or elation. And if they're elated, they get to throw the headgear as far as they want. If they're angry, nope, that's a point.
Man, the craziest headgear throw I can ever remember was at the Virginia State tournament. This dude got completely hosed in the state final. And he ripped off his headgear. He threw it so far. It was like a boomerang. It had like this circular like motion, and it landed right next to me, and next to my wrestler caught it. So he threw it so far. He must have thrown it like, I don't know, 100 feet into the crowd. That was pretty insane. A raucous moment in the Salem Civic Center, of which there have been many.
I had a teammate one year spike his headgear because he was mad he tore his ACL. That video is actually tremendous because then he falls over because he has the torn ACL. I bet I have it somewhere. It's so funny because this kid's a total meathead. I don't know if he was at 197 or heavyweight that year, but he was from Florida. He actually came to Kearney to play football, but he was like a Florida State champ, and we brought him on the wrestling team. Total meathead. And the guy just normal mat returns him, and he stuck his leg out, and his knee snaps, and like he gets up and yells, "Really, bro?" Because he thought the guy like did it to him like on purpose, but he just stuck his leg out on a mat return, and cocks back to hit him.
You're supposed to try to land on your feet on a mat return.
I know, but he only stuck one leg out as he was like sideways.
How did he stick it out? Can you show me? I'm very curious now.
I have this video
Like to the
somewhere. I will
side,
try
like
to
you
locate
said
it
later?
and send it to you.
This is big.
But he cocks
Okay.
back like he's going to hit him and yells, "Really, bro?" And then decides not to hit him, takes off his headgear, spikes it. It goes 10 feet in the air, Younger style, and then he falls over because he
Wow.
only has one knee.
You think you're having a bad day? That's a bad moment right there.
That was a bad moment.
Okay. So, Younger famously won this match at Hilton last year. Pretty impressive win there. Really got him on our radar even further.
Just weeks after losing to Silas Allred.
Yes. Like what?
That was wild.
But since that match, he's been basically rock steady. An All-American now. Have to assume he's only improved at this point. But this is a classic. Is Jacob Warner due to return to the mean? Right? And I'd say, I don't know that losing
Returning to the mean, still losing to Jacob Warner Bastida this year, though.
It could be that. It could also, there's also the point where Rocky Elam might just be straight up better than Jacob Warner. That is a definite thing. But his performance against Cole Urbis was not good. I don't think anyone is going to
I
dispute
think
that.
it was fine except for being underneath him.
Yeah,
Or very, very normal besides.
Yeah, honestly, he was kind of
Which is that unusual for a guy of that caliber on top? We've never seen, like you said, we've seen Warner get turned in the past only a couple times.
Yeah.
But
He just randomly has this issue with wrist tilt. But Younger has no.
He's not going to wrist
He
tilt
ain't
them.
tilting no one. So if he does, if Younger Bastida gets a tilt, then okay, you can.
I feel like
If he hits a tilt in this match, you can like hit me in the face with a pie. And if that's incentive,
Okay, I'm holding you
if
to
that's
that.
incentive enough, let's do it. I'll do that more so than we'll let Ben get tased. I'm taking Warner here. Might be wrong.
Oh, you're high. I'm taking Pastito.
I'm
Let's
high.
go.
I don't think
I
you're
get-
high, but I
I
am
am on.
taking
I
Pastito.
do love drugs.
Someone clip that, please.
Okay,
Clip it.
next. So
I do.
you both have younger.
Younger.
Hey, are we gonna pick like for the CKLV? Are we gonna
We have a
pick?
whole show tomorrow.
So are we gonna pick just champs,
Ben
and that's
keeps
how we're doing it,
forgetting.
or how are we doing it?
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna put
I need to
those in
prepare
the public
mentally.
pick 'em, but we can pick champs.
Yeah, we'll pick chance. I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you Saturday night.
Very convenient.
We got one more match. Anthony Cassiope versus Sam Schuyler. This was a DQ last time
Stalled
around.
right?
Stalled this dude out.
And that was in Hilton.
And that was in Hilton. So I don't know. Sam Schuyler is actually like pretty
yeah.
freaking tough, but
Not bad.
is he be able to do that again? What do you think, Ben? That's got to be the game plan for Cassiope. Stall this dude out, run him around.
It
What do
is kind of. I do kind of the edge rule. The edge stall rule is being called decently this year, but I do hate it when it's very clear the offensive man is strictly trying to push them out to get the stall call. That does really annoy me as a tactic, because when you think about like what the point of the rule is to encourage more wrestling, and if you're trying to push someone out of the wrestling area just to get your stall called, then that's not wrestling, right? It's kind of the same way I feel about the grounded rule in freestyle, is like you're trying to do something that you would purposely not do if it were actually like there was space for real wrestling. But yes, I think Cassiope can push him out of bounds a whole bunch of times, and yes, I think they will give stall calls for that in Carver Hawkeye. So there's a decent chance of that happening.
I'll say Cassiope covers this 5 or more.
There's not a decent chance he gets stalled out.
No. I said there's a decent chance he covers it. Well, maybe Ben did.
I thought Ben was saying there's a decent chance he gets stalled out.
Why not? Why couldn't Cassiope? So
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I'm with Ben.
Hold on, especially a heavyweight, that makes it really. If you think about this, that makes it really difficult. And I'm actually kind of surprised, say like a Colton Schultz or a Cassiope don't use this tactic more frequently. But if you can push the other guy more than they can push you, right? If you're the better pusher here, if you push them out of bounds enough, that the ref is going to call stalling for sure, right? So then the only way for the guy being pushed to stop that is to then probably dive in on some type of leg attack. But a heavyweight, they can squish you almost every time and run behind you. So like if you were that heavyweight, instead of staying on top, why wouldn't you squish him, run behind him, and then let him up again? And just do it over and over again. Because obviously their shots are going to get less effective as the match goes on, and they're more likely to be pushed out.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a snare because now I think he got hit from stalling a lot from the bottom position as well. Am I remembering that correctly?
I thought he got pushed out a bunch, but I
did too.
don't
I think
recall the
some of
match
it was
specifically.
top bottom as well. I gotta go back and rewatch it. Okay, so I've got the cover. I've got Cassiope covering. What do you say, James?
I'll go Schuyler.
Wow, you are just like
I found the video.
you are riding the train. We're sending this to Tyler.
This video.
This is gonna be great. Shout out to this guy. No offense. Yeah, we got to get this. We got to get this out there. That'll be fun. Okay. While we're waiting, let's get to some questions. Here's a good question.
Duel for a long time.
Here's a question from Cody Pevler in the YouTube chat. Who wins in a duel? Facebook and YouTube chats. Facebook versus YouTube.
They've been beefing.
I love it. Little Bloods versus Crips action.
I would say the YouTube chat is a little more educated, although sometimes you get that person who just finds it out of nowhere and just says a whole bunch of dumb stuff. But the Facebook chat is more aggressive. Mm-hmm. So we got this is a better technical team on this side, got a more aggressive team on this side. Is the Facebook team going to gas them out? I'm not sure. Yeah,
and also you have to also consider the pure numbers of YouTube. So you've got depth. And in a dual meet format, depth is huge.
I have the clip.
We have this clip.
We've got the clip. Oh yeah, let's watch this. This is gonna be great.
Oh, is this your guy, JD?
This is my
Oh, I
guy.
don't want to watch this. Snap his ACL. Oh,
Not this one. This is
Good
another
was gonna
return.
say,
Good Matt
there's
return.
no way any record on that.
Is it gruesome?
No, because he's able to stand up at least.
That is it. I don't want to see it if it's gross. Please don't be gross. Please don't.
That's
Oh,
it.
no, that's what you're supposed to do, JD. You're supposed to. Oh, my God. We got
But watch this. Watch this, Spike.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And then he falls down. One more time. I need that again. Whoa! He looked like he stepped on banana peel. This guy, is this guy gonna attack us? He's got a short trigger, JD. Do we need? I feel like we're gonna need protection.
It's even more funny, like if you know the guy.
Man, it's pretty funny as is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
JD, the problem was he straightened his leg when he put it down. You're supposed to land with a bent leg. Like, oh, McFly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my
Boing. Oh man, it looks so innocuous too.
Yeah, it does.
Dang.
And then he square. Why he square up with them?
Will it be like that? Okay. Question from Spin Millie.
Sorry, Corey. I had to do dirty
That's
like
over
that.
10 feet because that got over the basketball hoop for sure. You got to clear.
That's a lot of power. That's a strong looking person.
That was more than the Bastida spike.
I don't know.
Yes.
Man. Those are. We should get sports scientists. Get the Quantivision to measure the height.
Oh,
Keegan O'Toole versus Carter Starachi. Would Carter be too big and strong for Keegan? That was a question asked. Who's breaking into your room?
That's Ozzy. Want to come say hi?
Yeah.
Damn, the people haven't seen. Come here.
Let's
Come here.
go. Get the Ozzy man.
Ozzy. He's got his. Look at this. Look at this Marvel
Oh,
shirt.
Marvel.
He's almost a 50-year-old now. What do you want to tell him, Ozzy?
Hi.
You want to
Hi.
tell him? You want to battle these dudes or what?
Give your dad a Hasbula hook.
You want battle?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Love the battle.
The problem is everyone I look around could destroy me, so it makes it a lot tougher.
Keegan would probably be too small for Carter Starocki right now, but Keegan is getting much bigger and stronger, so you never know. I'm assuming they'll wrestle at 74 kilograms in 2024.
That would be a epic match. Do you think Keegan's probably 165 for his college career?
No,
Okay. There it
not
is.
forever, but for this year, next year.
Cool. All right. Another question. Well, this is for the ranker, so we'll send this to JD. What's your
I'm the
reasoning?
ranker.
What's your reasoning? He and Kozak are our rankers. What's the reasoning but having Seabrecht ranked 21st? It seems rather arbitrary considering he's 4-0, 100% bonus this year, and just pinned the guy who you had previously ranked 10th.
One, what's the word I'm looking for? Margin of victory does not come into play. It's
At all.
just wins and losses.
That's part of the ranker's oath.
Two, just because you beat the guy doesn't mean you necessarily go straight above them. Seabrecht has taken losses in the past, so you don't just shoot up to number 9. You come in. He went from not ranked to 21, and you kind of got to build your way up.
Last year, he lost to
Or else
Tariq,
Panera Johnson would be number 1.
Panero Johnson, number 1. Yeah.
He didn't really beat anyone good last year at all. It was a couple of D3 guys, 3 D3 guys. He only had one Division I win last year. And then in 2021, he beat JD Stickley and Ethan Smiley, who I don't know who that is, and then lost to Christian Kansler from Purdue. So, yeah, going into this year, there wasn't a lot of positive results that would put him anywhere in the rankings.
Yes. So yeah, if he keeps winning, he'll climb. All right, this needs to be the last question, I think.
I gotta pee.
No surprise there. If Ben wrestled Aaron Brooks 10 times in their prime, how many matches would Ben win? And then this guy at the end says 0.
Me against Aaron Brooks
Yeah.
in folk style wrestling.
4-style.
I don't know. That'd be fun. Let's make it
fun.
Let's make it happen. Create a time machine for me.
All right, Quant Division.
Get on it.
JD runs Quant now.
That is not true.
He runs Quant and all their ventures and projects, and one of them is a time machine. So we are on it. Okay. we're going to go. We'll be back tomorrow. No doubt about that. We thank you guys so much for listening. Full CKLV breakdown. We gave you a taste. We're going to give you the full meal tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you guys have a great Wednesday. We'll be back Thursday. It's a great week of wrestling. We got Penn State
So much
versus
wrestling.
Ryder and Lehigh. We got Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. We got Iowa versus Iowa State. You can't beat it with a stick. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Goodbye.